What's going on, everybody? Welcome to In Love with Horror. We are your hosts. I'm AJ.
And I'm Kristie. Join us for a love affair of all things horror as we explore the world of horror films, games, and everything in between.
See, I almost slipped up there, y'all. Hey, look, this is going to be a great podcast because on this podcast, y'all, we are giving you our spoiler review of Eli Roth's new film, Thanksgiving, y'all. So make sure you stay tuned because it's going to be a good one. All right, y'all. And like I said, this podcast is all about, our spoiler review of Thanksgiving. But before we get into that, we got to let you know what we watched this week. And in kind of preparation for this film, we were like, okay, we got to find something that's Thanksgiving related. And you had found out about the series Into the Dark over on Hulu. And they had an episode that's basically like a feature film, basically. But this episode, because it's Into the Dark is like a horror anthology series that ran on Hulu, and they have a bunch of episodes that focus on holidays, right? Because I had never heard of it. Surprisingly, I don't know how, but I never heard of it.
Yeah.
And probably because we had there's a period of time where we didn't have Hulu for like a long
time. Yeah.
And
sometimes we still forget we got it.
True. Yeah, sometimes that does happen. But y'all, they had this episode called Pilgrim, and so Pilgrim is all about a family, and there is a stepmom who's trying to like bring her family together, right? And so Thanksgiving's coming up, and she finds these reenactors who act like pilgrims, who come into your house, and they try to teach you
be grateful, thankful for what you have,
treat you traditions and all this stuff. But it ends up turning into a nightmare. These people never break character, and a bunch of crazy things happen.
Insane.
So that's what we kind of watched this week in preparation for Eli Roth's new film.
Yeah.
And
I did a TikTok about one of the particular scenes that stood out the most to me.
Yeah.
So definitely check that out.
Yeah, it is a spoiler. So
it is, but it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, watch the movie and then go watch her TikTok because it's super. That particular portion was so hilarious,
so funny.
But honestly, like.
It was good.
When I was getting the stuff pulled.
So we're going to be having some folks join us for Thanksgiving.
We're going to send somebody out here. They're going to teach us how the dipping from the olden days.
What do you say we break the wishbone?
Like a lot of bad reviews, and it's funny.
Oh, wow.
I actually enjoyed it.
I liked it. I can hardly wait. Me too.
Because this how do you do?
2019.
You're having pilgrims here? What's a full reenactment of the first Thanksgiving? This doesn't feel right.
You have a wonderful family.
I think it takes some time to get good.
It does.
Yeah, the build up is very slow. But once it ramps up,
We are here to show you what you had.
So I was surprised about that.
Are you grateful? Happy Thanksgiving!
I mean,
Families are still important in America.
I liked it for the most part for what it was. I thought it was
What are you afraid of?
Pretty cool.
It's
they had
just
some
Thanksgiving.
like I said, it took some time to kind of like build up, and a couple things didn't make sense to me. Like certain kills didn't really make sense compared to the others. But I thought it was a very interesting concept. Like I would have never thought of this.
Yeah.
And making it into like a Thanksgiving horror movie. So for that alone, I thought it's worth the watch.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was fun. Like I know we were laughing. And
we were laughing.
Enjoyed it. But I think we were both like, wow, this is actually not that bad.
Not that bad, right?
Like we were both like kind of surprised. Definitely want to go back and check out the rest of this series now.
Yeah.
Because they got a ton of episodes. So if this is kind of the quality of it, I'm definitely curious to see how the rest of the episodes turn out.
Yeah.
And I think we at the end of the film, or maybe it was in the beginning, that they were saying that this was based off of like a semi-true story.
Yeah, they had like
something like that.
A picture of
at the very end of the credits, they had a picture, I guess, of what they were basing this story off of. I don't know if like the actual crime took place, but it seems like maybe there's this idea of this group
doing
reenacting and going into homes
to houses.
And stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah, that episode again, y'all, is called Pilgrim. We definitely thought like it was a lot of fun. You know, it's nothing like
don't take it
super
too seriously.
great. Yeah, go in with the intention of having fun.
Right.
And maybe you'll like it. If you've already seen it, let us know in the comments or on our social media what you thought about it, and if you're kind of on our side and actually think it's not bad. And let us know which episodes in that Into the Dark series is worth watching, because we definitely want to check that out. All right, y'all. So now we'll go ahead and jump into our main topic, which is our spoiler review for Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Now, if you're listening to this or watching this and you haven't seen it yet, we do have a non-spoiler review up on our YouTube channel. So make sure you check that out. If you haven't seen the movie yet and you're kind of on the fence, check out that because maybe that will, you know, get you to potentially go out to the theater and check this film out. But that is your spoiler warning, because we're going into all the details, all the kills, the killer reveal, everything. So that's your spoiler warning. And with that, we're going to jump into the spoiler review. So we got Thanksgiving, Eli Roth's new film. Of course, Eli Roth is kind of like a controversial director.
And I never knew this.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, because
you were watching stuff today and people were saying, oh, I'm not a fan of Eli Roth. And I was like, shocked. Because, I mean, maybe it has because I feel like the people we watched are near our age group of people.
Yeah, for the most part. Yeah.
Yeah, like during the time when his movies were hot, I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
So I'm really surprised that a lot of people are not fans of his. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I think it's mainly because they, you know, call it like the torture porn. Like they were like, oh, he creates a lot of like those kind of movies where it's like torture for the sake of torture. And there's
I can see that.
Yeah. So a lot of people find this stuff to be controversial or just don't like it in general. So, you know, he's got this new film, Thanksgiving, that is based off of a trailer / short that was created for the Grindhouse film back in 2007. And so Eli Roth's always had the idea of turning that into a feature-length film. So this is the product of that. Now, if you're not familiar at all, I'll go ahead and kind of give you like a very, very general. I'm sorry, y'all. Pause because there's like a fire truck or something in the background. There's like a football game.
There's a high
going
school
on.
right behind us. They have a football game. So.
Yeah, so you might hear like a band and all that type of stuff playing. So that's why I was like, wait, what is that? Okay.
It does sound like a fire truck.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? Yeah. But so if you're not familiar with what Thanksgiving is, so Thanksgiving, basically it's about this town. It's Plymouth, Massachusetts, right? What they say is the
birthplace of
Thanksgiving, right? So this town celebrates Thanksgiving every year. They go big with it. And the story, one of the main characters,
Right Mart, which is like a Walmart.
Yep, he owns Right Mart. He's opening the store and basically all people go out to
get a waffle iron. A free waffle iron. The first 100 customers get a free waffle iron.
Until what happened that night. This tomorrow's Thanksgiving, and I'm tired of pretending like everything is normal and it's not.
Things go back to normal
tragedy
too.
ends up happening. A lot of people die.
Show some enthusiasm. Thanksgiving is an institution here.
The killer pops up to exact revenge on people he thinks caused this ride to happen. So that's kind of your basic and we'll talk about performances. So, starting off with kind of off the top, give like your overall thoughts about this film.
Overall thoughts. Yeah, I thought this was a very fun holiday slasher, whodunit style movie. I thought it was well done, executed very well. I talked about this in my non-spoiler review, but him being able to take what he did with the Grindhouse trailer and make it into an actual movie with a plot and a good story, I think he did a good job with that. The performances were all generally pretty good for what they, for the story. I thought that they fit the story very well. I liked the way, like the vibes, the holiday vibes. It felt like a holiday movie, and I thought the kills were really good. The gore was really good. I give it a 4 out of 5 stars with my rating, but because I thought that it didn't really push the boundaries as much as I would wanted it to. But overall, I thought it was a really fun film. I had a good time watching it.
Yeah, I'm the same way. If you saw my non-spoiler review, I love this movie. Like, this could easily be like my favorite horror film of the year. I thought it was well paced. I like the killer's presence. I like the overall story and plot. I like the simplicity of it. It's very much like a classic like 90s slasher film. Very like adhering to the formula, like you said. Doesn't really steer too outside of the box, but it excels. It within that
uses
box.
the good parts of the formula
flawlessly. I like the performance. I like the comedy of it. I like the gore. I like the special effects. I even like the reveal, and it's always fun with these slashers when you're like, oh man, I don't know who it is. Like, that's always a good time. It was just a great film. Like, I walked away feeling like so good after this. You remember, I was like, damn, like
that was
we on the car ride home, man. I was like, man, damn, that shit was good. Like, I was so hyped, especially it being like a Thanksgiving horror film, which we don't really have like that. So I was like, damn, now we actually got something that we could watch each year. So I'm huge in this movie. I loved it. Like, I can't wait to watch it again. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars in my non-spoiler review. And even after thinking about it for like a day, like, I'm still like super, super high on this film. Like, this is an excellent film. Honestly, like, it's, I'm not going to say it's like his Eli Roth's best film, but I got to digest on that some more, but it's definitely going to be up there. This was almost like perfectly executed. I could barely find anything wrong with it that I disliked. So that's kind of our overall thoughts, y'all. So let's walk through the film and kind of like talk about, different things that we liked as we walk through the story.
Okay.
So like I said, the film starts out, we meet some of the characters, the main character. I don't even remember. Was it Jess? Jess? We meet her, and, of course, her family owns the Right Mart. And then, she's kind of like not on board with the store opening and the whole Thanksgiving thing. She kind of seems like she's kind of like whatever.
But the stepmom is she's the one who pushed it.
Yeah. She's the one that pushed the store open.
She bought that money.
Yep. And so, Jess's friends end up showing up, and then they doing like dumb high schooler type shit.
Well, they were going to the movies, but they made a side stop to go to Right Mart because Evan, which was like one of her friends, he lost his phone. So they were going to Right Mart to get a replacement for the phone, and it's jam packed out here with all these people.
It is stupid.
The security can't, pretty much contain what's going on, and apparently Evan had got into an argument at the football game or something with these other kids, and they see each other at this at the crowd and the crowd of people at the Right Mart. Also, they run into another kid named Ryan, who kind of like obviously has a crush on Jess, and she's with her boyfriend. His name is Bobby. So their dynamic.
Oh,
it was so good.
It was hilarious.
I loved it. Ryan and Bobby were absolutely like, tit for tat, back and forth over Jess, like subtly sometimes, but more than a lot, they were in each other's face about it.
Right.
But anyway, so because Jess had, inside access to the store, she sneaks her group of friends into the side door. And because those other kids are like, hey, how do they get in there? They kind of like riled up the crowd. And then her friends rile them up even more once they're inside because they're like start showing off. Like,
oh yeah, we're in the store. We're getting we got the Waffle Iron.
We got the Wi-Fi Iron.
And like, remember in the crowd, they're like, oh hey, like why they're getting all the good shit.
Yeah.
Like, why
they're like, let us in. Let us in.
And so it's because of that, like they're enticing that crowd.
Right.
Next thing you know, they get past the barrier.
And
that was that funny part with the sheriff where he was just like, "Fuck this."
The security guard.
The security guard. He's like, "Fuck this," and he just like runs off. I thought that was funny.
It was hilarious.
But yeah, they pull up on the, along the glass outside the store, and they start like banging on people, getting squished against the glass.
Yeah.
And he sends Doug, the black security guard, up to the door. Because they realize, people are going to like suffocate because they're getting squished against this glass.
Doug is trying to unlock the door, but he can't get the right key.
He can't get it.
And they break the door down.
And it slams on
Doug. Gets smashed.
Yep.
Poor guy.
And then they start trampeding in there. and
it gets insane.
Yeah, that's when shit starts getting crazy inside.
Now we got introduced to the sheriff, Patrick Dempsey's character.
Mm-hmm.
What's his name?
Dang, why can't I think of the sheriff's name?
I don't know. I forgot, y'all.
I can't remember the sheriff's name for some reason. But we're just gonna call him Sheriff.
We're gonna call him Sheriff.
The main sheriff. Yep.
Sheriff Dempsey.
I'm cool with that, Sheriff.
Right. He this woman, what's her name?
I don't remember the wife's name.
I don't know. Y'all don't know these people's names.
The husband's name was Mitch, though, I think.
This is Mitch's wife.
Mm-hmm.
She came to the store to bring him a dish.
Was
so
it
she
Amanda?
said Amanda sounds right, but I don't know. We're not gonna call her name because I don't know it.
Mitch's wife.
Anyways, she has a dish of food that she bought to the store to give to him. That's what she said. But she came there with the sheriff. She came there with Sheriff Dempsey.
So they did a little rendezvous before they got there.
And look, why are you putting all their business out in the street? We haven't got there yet. You going too far ahead.
This is a spoiler review.
I know, but we're talking about it in order.
Okay. Cool.
They get to the store. And they're there right when stuff goes left. So she gets trampled. The wife, Mitch's wife. Mitch, by the way, is like
she
a
got knocked
manager.
down. Yep.
He's a manager.
Yep.
She gets knocked over by something. And then there's this woman who was running her mouth in the crowd earlier.
Like loudest
she
one out
smacks
there.
her accidentally. Well, not accidentally, but kind of. They smack her with carts. Two other people smack her with carts. And so she's knocked out on the ground. Well, they're still fussing over this waffle iron. Her hair gets caught in the wheel of the cart. And when she goes to pull it, it comes off. Oh
yeah, it was cool because they were like, it was kind of moving
it was moving a little bit
before it fully peeled
and then
off.
It feels off.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's nasty.
Yep.
But this whole opening scene was gross. Like,
oh man,
there was that. It was a dude that got cut in the neck on the door.
Oh, that part was crazy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That thing slit his neck
Slit his neck. Another guy that was fighting over the dude that had the cut neck was still trying to get the waffle iron.
That was hilarious. Yeah, he grabbed the last one. I'm gonna get this waffle iron. But what was so funny was this whole scene was so funny. It was so over the top.
Super over
and
the
like
top.
so he was laying there dead and someone came and took it out his hand. I don't care. Like, I don't care if you're dead. We're taking this waffle iron.
We're getting the waffle iron.
That's what I came here for.
But I love that this was like this because, obviously not now, but back then, like, this is how it was. It was pure chaos.
Oh, it was insane. Yeah,
I remember going to get a phone one year for, I don't know who it was, one of the kids.
Yep.
And people were fighting over the phones. Yeah. Like it was always insane.
It's always
Black Friday has always been crazy. So
yeah, you can go on like YouTube and like you said, because they've kind of steered away from that because of things like this.
Because it was getting crazy, yeah.
But you can go back and look at the things from like the last 15 years.
Yeah.
And there's like so many
What
videos.
a time to be alive, people. I mean,
there's so many videos of just absolute craziness. That's what I used to go out on Black Friday just to see the craziness. Because people would be fighting, it'd be crazy.
So
it was like
insane.
you just go for people watching because it was so hilarious.
Right.
But
well, in this case, you wouldn't have been able to because it was so
too
chaotic.
Crazy. It was just so insane.
So this scene was so well done. It was crazy. It was almost like you didn't know where to look because it was so much stuff going on.
Yeah.
But it was so enjoyable. Like, I think we were the most animated with each other during this scene because it was
Well, I think in general we was having like a really good time.
Yeah,
with the film.
for sure.
It's because the film is a good time.
It is. But this scene was my favorite.
Yeah, but this scene was this was a strong opening to set the tone for the film.
It really was.
Yeah, everything about it was just great. So all that goes down, and then
she's dead. The wife.
Yeah.
Mitch's wife is dead. Other people
Bobby's hand gets broken.
Oh yeah, Bobby, her boyfriend.
Graphic.
Yeah, his arm gets twisted and snapped, and he's a baseball player.
Yep.
So now his career is over at this point.
No nope.
But yeah, so that's what happened during the Right Marts Black
so
Friday sale.
That whole opening scene was so dope.
Yeah.
But then I think a good way to kind of to go over the rest of the story is we'll just go by the kills. I think that'd be like a fun way to like, follow the story beats. Cause I don't remember like every little in between. I don't know if you do. And if you want
I guess I was just trying to, I don't almost remember all the kills in order, but We could try.
Yeah, because I know the first one to go, because you know the film goes to 1 year later. It's now Thanksgiving and the following
1 year later, yeah.
Bobby
had disdisappeared.
Yep, Bobby disappeared.
She's dating Ryan now.
Yep, she with Ryan, and
Jess is dating Ryan.
Yep, Jess is dating Ryan, and Right Mart's gonna be open again this year, so everyone's pissed off about that. Mitch is now like a protester, type person. What's that dude's name? Was it Evan?
Evan, her friend.
Yeah, one of the other football player dude. You know, he had made that video. He posted it online.
Oh yeah,
to go viral. He posted
a video online. It went viral, right?
But I can't remember if the first kill happened and then the John Carver IG account started posting, or Facebook.
No, it posted first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, the John Carver, their character, he had an Instagram account and he tagged Jess and her friends. And it was like a picture of like a dinner table with like with place cards, but they didn't notice their names at first. It wasn't until later,
after the first kill, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, the first kill was the woman.
Yep.
Who, smashed the cart against that one lady's head.
She's the first one to go.
She's the first one to go. You can talk about her kill.
That kill was great. I like the surprise, like the aggressiveness. I like how she was trying to get away. She's trying to find her keys. He was already in her car. Yeah.
She worked at a diner. Yep. You're not explaining it. She worked at a diner.
Well, how about you taking it? Because I'm just going to go off the kill.
She worked at a diner and she was closing up. And he just came out of nowhere. There was these masks that she was giving out at her restaurant, the John Carver masks. So one was laying on the table. And so she was like playing around with it. But then he comes out like the back.
Yep.
And just grabs her. Like, it was so crazy.
Yeah.
He dumps her head in the water.
Boom. Yep.
And then smacks her up against the freezer door. Right. And then, her face is stuck and her hand is stuck.
Her skin on her hands peeled, her face peeled.
He went to go get his axe, but she got off the door before that. And so she's hiding in the clset trying to get her phone, but
she can't do it.
It's bloody. Yeah. So then, she eventually comes out because she thinks he's gone. Looks for her keys in her purse. She's outside, but he's in her car, so he got her keys.
Yep.
And then he runs after her with her car. She jumps into like a dumpster,
but she couldn't get in fast enough.
And the thing comes down. Boom. She slices her in half, and then guts are hanging out.
Yep. Ugh. Which was good. I thought that was cool.
And then the next day, when they find out that she's dead, he's got her bottom half sitting on the star.
Yep.
In the right Mart logo.
Thing. Yep. Yep. And then
he's like, that's crazy.
Yep. Well, I guess we'll get to it later, but because they don't find her other half.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Half. So
yeah.
That comes up later on.
Right.
So that was that first kill. And then that's when I think that the tag came and they actually paid attention and saw their names.
Right. Their names on the place cards.
Yeah.
And the photos.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're trying to figure out why they're being targeted, but then they kind of like connect it to the footage. She wants to try to find the footage of what happened. The footage of the actual event at the Right Mart because it disappeared.
Yep.
And that's how they're going to try to determine who is the killer.
Yep. And she, so she goes and the security footage, prints it all out, and then takes it to the sheriff and runs through like, hey, these are the people that could be the killer and also could be targets essentially.
Right.
Yep.
So this is when they start suspecting people like Ryan,
yep, because they saw him dap up Doug and it's like, oh, I thought he said he ain't no Doug.
Right, yeah. So they're trying to pinpoint who could be the actual person behind the John Carver killings. Yep. And they take it to the sheriff. And he's trying to I need your help. I need you to help me identify these people. He makes it seem very much so like he don't know what's going on.
Right, yeah. Well, like he's trying to help solve what's happening and protect the people that might be
next. Exactly. Yep. So the next person is Mitch, right? No, it was another guy. The security guard.
The security guard. Yep.
The security guard. They looked alike.
Yep.
That's what threw me off. But yeah, it was a security guard. He was getting ready to go somewhere.
Yeah, he was flying to, I don't know, like Vegas or he's flying somewhere. He had his passport. No, he had his passport. He was going out the country. He was trying to get out of the country.
I think people probably felt like this person was coming after people.
For everybody.
Yeah. So he was trying to get out of Dodge.
Yeah. So he had his passport. I remember, he was scrambling, packing his bag. He had set his passport down. And then like he walked away, it came back, and he's like, "Oh man, like where my passport go?" And he's like looking around. He was feeling kind of like weird, like he felt like something was off.
Then he sees the mask on the couch.
Then he sees the mask on the couch. And he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yep.
And then that's when he grabs the bat, starts yelling like.
This was so funny because he has a cat. And he was like, "Where's he at?" He was asking the cat where he's at, and the cat like looks over. He's like, "He's in there.
He's over there.
Is he in there?"
Yep.
That was so good.
And that was a good kind of jump scare too, because he's like over there. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He walked over, and then boom,
Yeah.
he jabbed him right in the stomach with that little meat cutter thing.
Yep. He got him good.
Yeah. And then this part was hard. This almost like some John Wick
It really
shit.
was. It looked like
he wrapped that cord around him and turned around
and snatched his head right off.
That
yeah.
was hard. I was like, damn, that was kind of dope.
And then he goes back and feeds the cat,
Right.
which I thought was super funny.
I thought it was funny that the cat was even sitting next to the bowl, like, "Hey, like,
are you going to leave me something to eat?
so who gonna feed me?" Yeah. And then so he went and fed him.
Yeah, that was funny. And he took the head.
Yep, he took the head, and then that's when he posted another image on the Instagram. This time the head's on the
plate.
The plate, and then I think that's when we see the top half of the woman as well.
Yeah, he has the top half of her sitting at the table.
Yep. And what happened after that though? Like who was next?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I can't remember who was next.
I don't think anybody was next, right?
Was
So
that
this
the
is when it
school
goes to the school scene. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So Jess is at school with her friends. I don't know what her name is. The girl who's playing who's being played by Addison Rae.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name either.
Oh, Gabby. Yeah, because I remember the typing thing on the phone.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Gabby and her boyfriend, which is
You said it was Evan.
Evan, yes. Evan and them. They're at the high school. Why are they at the high school?
I don't know. Because I remember there was a school scene.
I know. I forgot why they was there.
Moment.
Because the other people were there too. The police officers. Because remember they were outside. So I'm wondering.
Yeah, because I just remember them having that school scene moment when, because was this after he got in trouble in the class with the paper? Evan, remember because he read the paper that the dude gave him.
Oh yeah,
his plagiarized. Yeah. I don't know if that was around the same time.
That was.
I'm pretty sure it was.
It was.
Yeah,
that was hilarious too. Oh yeah, because they're kind of like ganging up together to try to figure out, is it Ryan or is it Bobby? Because those are the two prime ones that they're assuming it is.
Right. Yep.
And so they're kind of like, creating a little huddle amongst each other. And they're leaning towards Ryan because he gives off these weird vibes. And even at this point, I was kind of thinking it was him too because of the way he was acting.
Right. Yeah, he did because he was doing some weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like he just felt weird, and they had like they made it seem like he was lying about stuff.
Yeah, it
like
did.
With the security guard and stuff like that. So I was like, okay.
Yeah. Like, but anyways, yeah. So at this point, they're at the school. It's just Jess, Evan, and Gabby. They walk off and tell her to, we'll be right back. Mm-hmm. Oh, they were getting ready to go to a football game. That's what it was.
Okay.
And they canceled the game because of the cheerleader got in the.
That's right. Because that was before. Yep. So that scene came before then. So that.
Yes, that's right. This happened first.
Yep.
And that's why they canceled the football game.
Yeah, so this was the scene that kind of mirrored that part in the Grindhouse trailer. Mm-hmm. When she was jumping on the trampoline and got stabbed. So they kind of repeated that same thing.
It was
here, and they got the dude.
He got his head
twisted all the way.
And it was funny because his head was still turned around. It was still. He was still sitting up, and his head was
twisted all the way. Yeah,
it's normally something like that happens, the body falls or whatever, but he was still sitting up on the thing.
And then she gets stabbed multiple times. And that was a brutal one.
She got really jacked up.
Yeah, she got jacked, and so it was after that they canceled the football game.
They canceled the football game,
and then there was this, and then that's when the scene happened with
them being at the school. And
he went back inside to change and all that stuff. Yeah.
The two of them go missing. And so Jess is going looking for them. She's using her phone, trying to figure out where she is. Mm-hmm. And that's when the John Carver killer comes out and tries to kill Jess. He chases her around the school.
Yep.
This was a really weird thing to me because there were a ton of exit doors.
Well, before that though, there was a really good jump scare before he started trying to.
That one got
because they were walking down. Evan and Gabby were walking down the hallway.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden,
and they were talking.
The John Carver dude came around and put the chloroform on him, and that was like, that was a good jump scare. I was not expecting that whatsoever.
It did get me too.
Yep, and then that's when he was texting from her phone, telling Jess, "Hey,
come here.
Can you come down here?" Like whatever he was saying on the text.
Yeah,
and that's when he started chasing around school. But like you said, that was during that part. I even said I was like why she just don't run outside? Like, there's 1,000 doors,
police outside and everything, and I was like, why is she not going out the door? But yeah, she was running down the hall screaming, "Help! Help!" And I'm like, go outside.
Please, like get outside.
So this was the only scene where we were like, really?
Yeah, like, come on now. Yeah. So she ends up making it out. She gets away, makes it outside. And then like
this is when so funny.
Yeah, because this is when everybody shows up at the same time.
Yeah.
Bobby shows up. Ryan
Bobby
shows up.
puts his coat.
Oh yeah, Bobby puts his coat over her. Like, oh, you okay?
And then Ryan comes up and goes flips the
coat. Yeah, that was funny.
They were so funny, man. They did it so good.
And so I think they end up getting into an argument. And she tells
she's
them
like, I don't want to see
home.
either one of you anymore right now.
And I think this is also the same time that Scuba his
is
girlfriend
the black
was there,
character.
right?
We haven't talked about him yet, but he's the other black football player.
And I think that's when his girlfriend's dad comes to get her. He's
like, we're going to Florida.
Yep. So he
snatches her up real quick.
Yep.
She goes home to go get ready, start packing.
Yep.
She's Scuba keeps calling her on FaceTime, but you can kind of tell she's like, I'm gonna call you when I get to the car, whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, so the John Carver character breaks into their house because there's a police escort there with them. He takes him out. Then the dad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then he goes after her. And this was a funny one. She's like cleaning her ears out with a Q-tip.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes in there with like the
corn on the cob
thing. So sticks them into her ears.
Yep.
And that, hinders her from trying to get away. He snatches her up. Now he kind of like uses her as bait because she was on FaceTime with Scuba and Jess.
Yeah, he started teasing with it.
They come to her house, try to help her. And Scuba had gotten a gun. And so I guess he thought he was going to be able to go over there and shoot him.
Mm-hmm.
And when he gets there, the John Carver killer has, a knife to her throat. And he got the phone in his hand. And she's like, shoot him. And he got the safety on.
Yep. Well, I think he would have missed anyway.
He probably would have.
I don't think that really would have mattered. He would have.
Well, he had the safety on, and so the gun didn't go off.
Yep.
And he basically throws her onto this table saw, and she gets jacked up.
Yeah, and I actually like the way the
acted.
Performances were in that scene.
Yes, he was like, "What do I do?
What do I do?
What do I do, Jess?
What do I do?" I was like, "Wow!" I was like, "I like how they did that."
Yeah, that was like super good.
It was like
super shocking.
Yeah, they actually looked like they were shocked. It wasn't like super dramatic. It was just kind of like true shock.
Yep. Mm-hmm. He gets away, but in other words, yeah.
Yeah. John Carver gets away, and I think is this. Now I'm trying to remember. Was it after the parade that we kind of get that glimpse of, like, we see like John Carver like in like whatever his killing den is. He's got like everything up on the wall and stuff like that. Was that after the parade or before?
Right, because we don't really see that until the lady is like trying
until
to get
the mom
out.
is the stepmom is captured, and she gets captured after the parade.
Right. Yeah. So after this happens, the sheriff and all the police are like, well, let's come up with a plan on how to try to catch him. And so he's going to use the family, and so Jess, her dad, Scuba, all of them, to kind of like use him as bait to draw him out.
Yep.
There's a Thanksgiving parade. They're going to go on their little float. And the plan was when the float comes back into the warehouse, it's going to look empty, but the police are going to be there and they would, just catch him. Yep. But so they go through the parade, and before she gets on the float, there's this random character who like sells guns and stuff like that. He gives her a ring, and that ring is important because it helps her and Scuba later.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
But so he gives her this ring, and they get on the float, and that scene is very reminiscent of I Know What You Did Last Summer when the blonde girl is on the float and she's trying to look to find the killer.
I can't remember that.
Oh, you don't remember?
Good.
Well, I just watched it in July, so that's why I remembered it that much. But yeah, so it's the very same thing. She's on the float, looking around, looking at all of the people on the John Carver costumes, trying to figure out which, if the killer is out there. And Mitch comes out. He's doing like a mini protest, but they clear him out of the way.
Yep.
But when all this happens, there's a guy in a turkey suit, which is very much like the trailer that he made. He comes out, beheads him, and he's dressed as a clown.
Yeah, that was cool. I did not see that coming like at all. I was like, oh,
yeah.
shit. Like, wow.
Everybody's looking for him to be dressed up as the Pilgrim, but he's out here in a daggone clown suit.
Yep.
And so he causes like a diversion, basically takes out the people driving the truck.
Yeah, and he was like real John Wick with it too.
Really
like he threw that grenade in there. He walked in, doop, 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 doop,
yes,
and like tranquilized all
it
of
was
them.
funny because when the police were talking about the way he operated, they were like, "Oh, he's
he
probably like ex-military or something."
Yeah, yep.
But that's how he was acting.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's able to take all of them hostage because they all get into a truck. And he's able to take the truck and he gets them.
Yep.
Yeah. So he shoots them all with like tranquilizers, so they're all out.
Yep. So that's how he gets them.
That's
all
how he
back
gets
and
all of them.
Staged up. But then that's when we get. I'm trying to think. Is that when we get the scene? With
he's
him
cooking it up.
Well, no. When he was looking at, I feel like there was an interim scene. I can't remember, but it was cool because I was like, dang, like it's cool, to get this like killer.
When
insight.
he was looking at like the
posters,
that was
like
earlier. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Oh, yes, I was referring to.
I thought you meant just his house in general.
Well, because I thought it was cool to get like that glimpse of the killer, like because like if we think back to It's a Wonderful Life, right? Because that's the most recent like holiday thing that we watched. Like we never got moments where we were like seeing the killer when he wasn't like killing, so to speak.
Yeah.
So it was cool to like jump to like the plotting of him, like the plot he had everybody lined up on the board. He had his axe. He's sitting there.
Yeah.
Like he really like in the anger of like revenge, you know what I'm saying? But getting back to the story, like you said, like this is where we get the scene where he's he's cooking up the stepmom.
He's got her laid out.
Yeah, he got her.
Seasoning
He's got the vegetables around her. He
put oil on her and everything.
Salt, pepper, all that good stuff. But she
wakes up.
Yep.
And he walks away, and when he comes back, she's like up. So she's like hiding within his little lair or whatever.
Yep.
And she comes across another body, which was the kid from the gym, I think.
I think so. Yeah, I think it was him.
But anyways, she comes across another body. She does a good job of not screaming. Because I feel like I probably would have screamed at some point during that. And it's that scene where he's kind of like those types of scene where you're trying to find somebody. You're
some stalker
moving stuff
mode.
everywhere.
Like where's she at? Yeah.
Right. She finds herself upstairs. She opens up the fridge. Does she open up the fridge, or does it open by itself?
No, she opens it.
She opens the fridge, and the cheerleader is in the inside of the thing, and we were both like, "She's still alive."
She was still,
but she was bleeding out, so she was dying. She grabs a wine bottle out of the fridge, closes it back up, and goes to like hide around the corner.
She set a trap for him, basically.
She basically did.
But he already outsmarted her. He's already on game.
He knew where she was.
Yep.
He had a freaking pitchfork.
Yep.
She runs out the door. Like it looked like she was about to get away.
Yep. He threw that joint. He
throws the pitchfork and it hits her right in the back.
Boom. Yep.
And he drags her back in the house.
Yep.
And he puts her in an oven. A big ass oven.
Yep. And then we had that scene. That was nasty too.
It was
her skin
super nasty.
Like all jacked.
And she was begging for her life.
Yep.
And this dude opens the thing.
Oh, it puts
one of those things.
Temperature.
Like you put in a turkey to see when it's done. And when it was done, it pops. It goes boop.
Yep.
I was like, that is insane.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That was pretty good.
Wow. But,
And then we get like the kind of the big dinner scene of this film. So the killer ends up live streaming this whole thing. He's got it up on live stream, and he's smart with using like different tactics to fool them, because they try to track him down and track the signal, but he already knew. He set everything up.
Yeah.
But this scene was like super crazy because he unveils the
body, and she's literally folded up like a turkey.
Yep, like a turkey.
And he's like, "Thank you, Candace." Her name was Candace, wasn't it? Candace?
I don't know.
Whatever. I think her name was Candace. Thank you, or Cassandra. I don't know. Start with a C.
Start with a C or a K or something. But yeah,
he was like, "Thank you for this meal or whatever."
Yeah, being a great meal or something like that. Or making a great meal.
Making a great meal.
He was like, "Hey, I said she was gonna make a great meal."
Yeah.
Like, but that was later. But yeah, but
I was like, "Wow, this guy."
Yeah, and the dad like threw up in his mouth. Like it was he had the gag in. It was super. It was
nasty. So disgusting.
Yeah.
And yeah, so you got everybody tied up, gagged, and he's basically like not giving no F's at this point.
Yep. And then I think that's the first thing he does is because he had a cheerleader set up. And he was like, "Oh, we got to get the wine or whatever, like to pair with this meal."
He slashed her throat.
Like he did the corkscrew thing.
Yeah.
To like make it pour out.
Make it like a bottle.
Yep. He's like, "Oh, you might want to let this sit for a little while."
And poured the blood into the glass. Yep. It was nasty.
And then,
but yeah, so she realizes her ring has like a compartment or something. A little that was pointed part comes out.
That was
of the
after
ring.
He killed Evan though. He killed Evan first.
He does kill Evan.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He bashed his head.
He bashed his head with the meat.
The
pounder
and
thing.
then he like picked up his brains and blood like it was soup with the spoon.
Yes, I forgot about that part. Yeah,
yep.
So that's why she's going so ham right here because her boo thing got jacked up.
For our listeners, we got a image on the screen right now where Addison Rae's character is she's screaming and stuff, losing it.
Her man's getting his brains bashed out.
Jacked. Yeah. But that's when Jess is like, that's when Jess is realizing, the
ring does something.
Got the thing on there.
Yeah, so she's able to cut her ropes loose. She hands the ring to Scuba, and he's able to cut his ropes loose.
Yep.
And I felt like they were a little bit premature in trying to escape right here. I don't know.
I just felt premature. I just think that they weren't as smart as they could have been about getting especially because when he had hit him. And he kind of stumbled. Like they should have attacked.
They should have attacked him,
but they didn't.
Yeah. Well, they were able to kind of get away in a certain briefly, right? Yeah,
but he catches Scuba them. Though.
He hits Scuba with the axe.
Tore his arm up.
Yeah, he
broke it.
Ugh.
Yeah, he broke his arm.
But Jess is able to kind of escape,
jump the fence and get away. Her bracelet gets caught for a second, but she got away.
Yeah, she goes over the fence, and it seems like he leaves her. But then she comes across
the sheriff
Dempsey.
Yep. Sheriff Dempsey laying on the ground.
Laid out on the ground. He looks like he's got hit in the head. And she
sees Bobby go inside.
She sees the killer going into a building. And she follows him, right?
Yep.
And she looks and it's
Bobby takes off the mask.
And it's Bobby.
Yep.
And so she's freaking out.
It's Bobby.
It's Bobby. Yep. Sheriff Dempsey comes in and she tells him it's Bobby and he goes after him. She runs out.
Yep.
He hears gunshots. It sounds really weird because we were both like, that don't sound right. Like the way it happened, it didn't seem right.
Right. Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah.
Like the way the shots rung out and everything was kind of strange.
Yeah. And then he comes right out immediately after.
Yep.
And he's like, "Oh, he got away."
Yep.
Or I couldn't find him, but I think I hit him. That's what he said or something like that. Yeah, so the police come. They got her in a little room. He's talking to her. He's like, whatever, I'll be right back.
Yep.
She's looking at there's got evidence on the table. She's picking grass stuff out of her legs.
The little bristle things.
Yeah,
yep.
I forgot what those little briar things.
Yep.
And when he comes back into the room, she notices that he's got those same briar things on his shoes. And she's starting looking weird. He's like, "Is everything okay?"
And she remembers what he said. Oh, it's on the details.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. So he turns, but then he realizes.
He looks down too, and he's like, so she made the connection.
Yeah. So all the cards are now laid on the table.
And that was super hard because he closed the door. He's like, what did he say? He said something like to think I was an inch away.
The fence. Yeah.
You barely got over the fence.
You barely got over the fence.
If your bracelet if your bracelet held on for one more second,
yep,
I would have got you or something like that. I was like,
it was really hard. Yeah. But yeah, so then he kind of basically explains that it's him. And
explains what?
She asks why.
Because everybody want to know. Because I was like,
when you said it, I was like, because AJ calls it out. He's like, I think it's him, and I was like, yeah, but why would he?
I said that. I was like, I don't know why though. I was thinking maybe like his son was there. Or they didn't show his son yet, or he had a kid or something like that.
Right. It just didn't make sense to me at the time. But yeah, so he explains his why. And why, baby? Because I thought it was dumb. But go ahead.
Oh, well, it was because, he and Mitch's wife had a whole affair.
They had an
going
affair.
On. And she was pregnant with
Sheriff pregnant
Dempsey's
with
baby.
his baby.
So I was like, oh, well, that makes a lot of sense. Because now not only did you kill
her,
what was his love,
right,
but also his child that wasn't born yet.
His future. That's what he said.
Yeah,
killed his family.
Yep, his legacy. Hey. So like he was like, she's gonna leave Mitch and we're gonna be happy. Like it's all
he's
y'all's
like,
fault.
I should be with her. Thanksgiving instead of doing this.
Yep.
I don't know. This for me seemed really forced. It was like they had this.
No, this is perfect.
No, they had this story, and it was like, well, okay, so why would he do this? There's like, well, let's just come up with something real quick off the cuff.
No,
that's how I felt.
All the little, because like how it is like when you are thinking about stuff on a second viewing, I think we'll notice more stuff too. But even us talking about it right now, I was like. I think I was picking up on things. So in the beginning, it's a comment that she makes like, oh, I guess you won't be single for that long.
But I feel like it wasn't enough to make it actual. When she says that, it makes it seem like, he'll find someone new. It doesn't make it seem like it's going to be her.
She dropping hints like out loud to everybody. Like, hey, we about to be together. Because
I feel like maybe if they had like a little bit more animosity between her and Mitch in the beginning, or maybe something to give us
because
more.
Then that would have implied that Mitch knew, and that wouldn't have made sense at all.
I don't know. It just seemed it came out of left field to me.
Well, it definitely came out of left field, but I think it works because we see stories of affairs and shit like that, like in real life. On you be looking at different TikToks or different YouTube videos. So like to me, this is like super plausible. I was like, oh,
I'm not saying that it's
super
not
believable.
plausible.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it just didn't seem like it fit in the context of the story. I feel like they just kind of added that on the back end. So? That's just how I feel.
Perfect, especially when you pointed out like, oh, she arrived at the store with sheriff and stuff.
I know that.
Oh, yeah, like
I just feel like they added it in.
Yeah, I thought it was perfect. It's like,
Anyways,
these are crimes of passion and love.
He kills all these people because his boo thing got killed. That's what people do, and he is taking it out on everybody.
Yep.
All right, so that's happened. Now he's going to try to kill her. And go ahead.
Oh, so
Oh, she grabs the evidence bag had Bobby's phone in it. So she was live streaming.
So everybody
his
saw
confession.
Yep.
And everybody she said something to him. What did she say?
Oh, it was hard though. She was like, because when she initially realized who he was, and he said like, oh, you lucky if your bracelet held on for one more second, I would have got you.
Yeah.
And he was like, you should see the look on your face right now.
Oh, yes.
And so like when she was live streaming, and she flipped it back on him, like, you should see the look on your face right now.
Yeah, that was actually really good.
This shit is hard right now. This movie is hard as fuck.
Yeah, that was really good. Yeah, so she's live streaming him give his confession.
Yep.
And so now
and I saw you saw like all the hearts and likes go crazy on there after she like flipped it back.
Yeah, and I thought that was a really good way of revealing things because it was a modern nice spin on a 90s slasher. Like, how does everyone find out that this is what really happened? Because sometimes I wonder that, right? Like when you're watching those old movies, like how do they get out of this? Like how do they prove that this guy was actually the killer?
Yep.
Because we never see those kind of things.
Oh right, yep.
The closure of it.
Yep.
So it was cool for them to
everybody know
live
now.
stream it.
The whole town know who the killer was.
Right.
Yep.
It was Sheriff Dempsey.
Yep. So she ends up I can't remember, how did she get out of that room? What did she do? Oh no,
Bobby breaks the window.
Yeah, Bobby helps her. He got his throwing arm back.
Yes.
He threw that brick, hit him.
He throws a brick into the window. He got his throwing arm back.
Hey, he's gonna save his girl. Well,
yeah, he did.
It's not his girl.
Not no more. It's
his old flame.
His old thing. So he gets her out.
Yep.
And then he's chasing them. Sheriff is
so
still trying to chase him.
They start hiding. They see the truck. Like, oh, let's hop in your uncle's truck. So they hop in the truck.
She cuts on the, what is the stuff that
the
fills
turkey, the propane
propane
thing,
gas.
or the helium or whatever
helium
it was.
Thing, right? Yeah. So that's blowing up the turkey to kind of like use it as a distraction. But when they're trying to get away in the truck, the little cord that tows stuff is loose. So sheriff grabs it, ties it up again around hooks it around a beam, so the truck can't go anymore. It gets stuck. He comes up on the truck and is ready to kill her. And how does it ignite?
No. That you kind of got it in the reverse order.
How?
No. He went on the truck first, and
who went on the truck first?
The sheriff, and then he get knocked off because she didn't shoot it. Yeah,
she did
because he got knocked off the truck,
right.
And then that's when he latched it, and she was feeling that weapon.
She had a
blunderbuss.
Thing. Yeah,
and she filled it with her bracelet and all the other stuff.
She shot,
and that's when she shot the air thing,
and it exploded.
Yep, it exploded, and they got out.
They were able to get away.
Then of course it was kind of like the closing scenes, and they're like, of course they're like,
but
we can't find the body.
Him. Yeah,
and they showed that they held the camera on that one
fireman, make it seem
like
maybe it's him escaping.
He escaping.
Yeah,
he real resourceful, so I wouldn't put it past him.
It might have been.
Yep.
But yeah, that's basically how it goes. Well, she has like a dream.
Yeah, she has like a nightmare
she
thing.
Thought he was alive or something, but that's how it basically ends.
Because she's kind of getting she's going to be haunted by it now.
Yeah.
And this is cool because it leaves it open for Thanksgiving too. And
what would they do in that? Oh, like because he's still alive.
He's still alive.
Right. Okay.
It's
kind of like Chucky.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like
keeps coming back.
If they want to do a sequel, they can't.
Yeah.
Because they were, obviously they say, oh, no one could have survived that blast, nothing but ash in there.
Right.
So they can say, oh yeah, he's definitely dead. Or if it makes good money, they're like, oh, let's do it again. Thanksgiving 2.
Yeah. Or I don't think they should make a second one.
It's gonna be hard.
What, AJ?
They do like a Christmas.
You are crazy.
Come on now.
No.
This is Thanksgiving. Instead of calling Thanksgiving 2, it just be called Christmas something.
Oh gosh.
You know what I'm saying? So now he coming after her on Christmas.
I don't think they need to make another one of these.
I don't know.
I think this was good as is.
Oh yeah. I mean it's perfect standalone.
They don't need another one.
But honestly, like I want Eli Roth to do like another slasher now because this joint was amazing.
Yeah, but I think he should too.
Some other things I wanted to point out, when you're thinking about like signs of someone being the killer, like there's a lot of different little hints now that we've been talking about it. I even thought about now, like obviously there's the tacticalness, like he's super tactical.
Yeah, he's a sheriff.
And then also the fact that I wasn't really thinking about it at the time, but the fact that he was in a clown suit in the parade, because I was like, if the killer won't in the inside to know that they're trying to set up this trap, how would he know to not be in the Pilgrim costume?
Be in the costume, where to put them in the car, like all that stuff. He had that thing planned out.
Yeah,
he knew the plan.
Only sheriff could have done all those different things.
This is very true.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's other little hints.
Well, see, I was also thinking about the other sheriff. Remember, because they hired a new guy to come work in the sheriff's office, and so he didn't have like no history with this town. So I was like, oh, maybe it's him. But
but I think it would have been as fun because it would have like
he had no connection to it. Well,
yeah.
No connection that we knew. I was like, well,
that's the thing. It wouldn't have been as fun because he had no connection, period.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like, whenever these movies happen, it's always someone who was there or like directly involved in some way that's doing the revenge. You know what I'm saying? It's always a character within the core, the core characters of people. You think about Scream and other stuff like that. But I mean, you want to jump into like the like final thoughts, or you want to like give some went through the whole movie. Is there any overall thoughts you want to give as we kind of approach closing it out?
Well, yeah, no, like I said, my thing was that I just felt like it didn't really like, go overboard as much as I wanted it to.
Yeah.
It still did at some points. And I heard someone else say this too, like, when you think about Eli Roth, you think about stuff going to the extreme, and I felt like it didn't quite get there for me.
And maybe,
but it's still go ahead.
I was gonna say maybe he did that to have it be more approachable to a wider audience. Maybe he wanted to make a movie where he's like, I want this to be a classic.
Yeah.
So I can't go so hard that it's gonna put people off.
Right. Yeah. I can definitely
so
feel
that I can put my stamp on. I got a horror classic that everybody likes because I'm gonna give people a small taste of what they like, but not too much that people who don't like that can't get into the movie.
Right. I can see that. Yeah. Well, if he were to make like a like a
director's cut
or something. I want that on my shelf because I would need that.
That would be hard.
Yeah,
he did a director's cut and he kind of had those like
some extra stuff
elements.
in there.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I would absolutely.
I'd also like to see like the behind the scenes. I'd love to see the behind the scenes of the Right Mart, like Black Friday.
Oh
incident.
How that played out,
funny and crazy. Like I think the behind the scenes special features on that would be a lot of fun.
Yes, I like that. That would be really cool too.
Yeah.
So all right, Eli, if you're watching this, please make sure you got that on the director's cut. Please.
Yeah, the director's cut would be hard. Yeah, that would be so dope.
Now they made a was it NECA? What is it? The NECA? You know what it is?
Mm-mm.
The people who make the toys.
Oh,
I don't know how to say it. I don't know. If
I'm not sure.
Well, anyways, that they made a John Carver statue.
Oh, really? That's cool.
It came out the day before the movie came out.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
that's hard. I mean, now I don't know how hard the movie is. I want something. Like
I know,
that.
right?
Because the movie
really
so
though,
dope.
I could definitely see this with having really dope merch like T-shirts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this character could become like a new Michael Myers or whatever. If they did were to make more movies, cool. If not, I still would be fine with it not. But I think his characterization was just so well done and fits into that that genre, the group of people. I don't know. I said the same thing.
I was like, next Halloween, you're gonna see like the John Carver Pilgrim mask
costume.
Setup. Yeah, it's gonna be in the spirit of Halloween stores, everything. Because I think this movie is gonna do really good this weekend. It's gonna be really big. It's already getting really good critical acclaim.
Yeah,
even from both critics and audience, everyone's loving this movie. Mm-hmm. Everyone's like hyped about it. It's gonna do really good, and I think that it's gonna be one of two things: either they make another one, or they give Eli Roth
something else,
the opportunity to do like another type of slasher or something like that. Like, this is definitely a lane I would like to see him explore more.
I think he should for sure.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm so shocked that he is such a controversial creator. I'm super shocked about
this
that.
movie is nothing like any of his other films. That's why.
Not exactly, but I feel like it still has some of the things that he does well and a part of it. So I don't know. I think he's always been, for me, a really good director. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just a little bit shocked by it. That's all.
Oh yeah, no, that's definitely the case. Very, very controversial, but I'm sure this will turn a lot of people on to him with this Thanksgiving film. And he also directed the upcoming Borderlands film. I know it's not horror, but I'm curious to see how that will turn out. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this movie is so dope. I think it's excellent.
We know.
Almost flawless. Like I told you in the beginning, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5.
I think I'm pretty sure that this is the highest rating you have given a movie this year.
Like a movie that was released this year?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
It is.
I think this is the highest rated so far.
I don't think you've gone anywhere above 3.5 stars.
Because ain't nothing really been... There's nothing that's like been solid for the whole entire movie.
Yeah.
Like this movie is solid from beginning to end. There wasn't a moment where I was like, either I never said I'm bored or this is stupid.
Yeah.
Or like, I didn't say any of that. I was just like, dang, like this is really good pacing. This is a really good story. Like I'm all in. Like I'm fully bought into everything they're selling in this movie. So
yeah, it was good.
I thought it was excellent.
I think I'll put it in number 2 for me. Definitely not number 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be talk to me for you, right?
Yeah,
number 1.
I think we should definitely do like a ranking of everything we watched this, like the ones that came out this year.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do that.
Yeah,
we're definitely gonna do that for sure this year.
But right now I'm thinking it's probably somewhere around there.
Yeah,
because it was just a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Did you want to give did you have a favorite death scene? A favorite kill scene from this film? Yep.
Favorite kill scene? I think I would probably have to go with the stepmoms, just because it was just so crazy.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I would go with that one. What about you?
It's tough for me because I like and I can't remember the girl's name, like Scuba's girlfriend. I like how that all played out, like even the drama of it. So part of me wants to say that. But man, I also thought the security guard kill scene was just dope too, though, because it was so almost like John Wick.
It was.
So I don't know. It might be between those two.
two.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we'll revisit it, especially as this comes out on digital.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely watching this again when it comes out.
I can't wait to see the special features and things like that.
Yeah.
But that's what we think about Thanksgiving, y'all. Obviously, we're big on this. It was such an excellent film. The whole team behind this did a great job. But let us know, y'all, what do you think about Thanksgiving? You can drop that down in the comments on the YouTube video. You can go on the Spotify app and answer the question on there as well. Let's just start some dialogue, some discussion all about Thanksgiving, and also talk about other holiday horror favorites that we have, that you have. And just drop everything down in the comments, y'all, so we can just talk about Thanksgiving. This junk is just so dope, man. Like, I love this movie, baby. I love it. This is excellent, man. This is the hypest. I'm gonna say right now, this is the hypest I've been after a film this year, that because I feel like it delivered on everything. But yeah, this has been the In Love with Horror podcast, y'all. Thanks so much for tuning into the entire thing. If you made it this far, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. If you're on Spotify and Apple, please follow and then rate the podcast. That just helps for visibility. Go check out our TikToks, especially because we're almost at 1,000 followers on TikTok.
Yes, please go follow us.
So help us get to 1,000
follow and share.
on there. We're on the road to 300 subscribers on YouTube, so help us get there as well. And as always, we appreciate your support.
Yes.
It's a slow grind. We slowly growing, but hey,
but we love it.
We love it. We have fun with this. We hope that y'all enjoy the content, and then just help us, help lift this up. Share this stuff with other people that you think might enjoy, horror content and just things that revolve around horror. Again, y'all, this has been In Love with Horror. Thank you so much. We'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.